nikaona tinga natoka na huko, ikadunga ile nyumba. Nikasema we Mungu, unaniwacha wapi? Toto ingine analalaga hapo, brother yangu na kuaga naye na wajukuu wengine, nikawapeleka kwa sister yangu wanisaidie, wanilalishagie watoto. Sasa ingefanyaje? Sasa wakati huu tunakaga tu hivi, tuna mwelekeo, tuna nini? Saa ingine kukula ni shida. Wamama ingine ndio alijitolea wakanipeleka hospitali, nikaenda nikaambiwa, nilishikwa ni pressure. Sasa itafanya nini?
In 2024, March and April was catastrophic. The rains poured in an exemplary manner. It was very intense. So you can imagine the devastating effects, particularly where the drainage system capacities were not up to this amount of downpour. So what happened is, in the informal settlements, where you find that close to 50-60% of the communities living along the riparian reserve, the effects were that the river banks were actually more expanded than ever before, and therefore homes were washed away, businesses were washed away, livelihoods were lost. On top of that, the government came in and said that those that were on the riparian reserve were going to be evicted, and the evictions actually took place. So within 30 meters from the edge of the river, a mark was put, and anything that fell within that zone was pulled down. Now, the notice was insufficient to begin with, because, as I'm saying, it's just, a day after the rains, the heavy downpour washes away what it did. Then the government came in and brought down more of the structures without a relocation plan. The community members were not engaged. The government did not provide financial support that would reach to the targeted population. So these are critical issues that bring about power asymmetries. You find that the government and the people are not having conversations at par. But you also realize that people in informal settlements, as they face these problems, they understand their problem, they know their problem, and they even have solutions to these issues. So if someone here being the state actors were to pay more attention to the residents, they'd probably have solutions that are owned and that actually impact or remedy some of these societal needs.
Na nilijoin Mathare Social Justice Centre 2019 wakati polisi waliua mtoto wangu. Wakati nilipitia police brutality, wakati mtoto wangu aliuliwa na risasi, and then nikakuja nikakuwa victim, lakini sasa mimi ni defender, na mimi ile chenye nafanya ni unite watu, kuleta watu pamoja. And then nikaingia kwa campaign inaitwa Ecological Justice Campaign along the river, na tukaanza ku plant tree along the river. Lakini first tree yenye nilipanda outside Mathare Social Justice, na ni memorial tree ya mtoto wangu mwenye aliuliwa na police brutality. And then nikakuja nikajoin Ecological Justice Campaign, tukaanza kupanda miti along the river. Na hizo miti tulianza kupanda mahali serikali ilibomolea watu manyumba. Sasa against the demolition, ile kitu watu wanafanya Mathare ni kuoccupy riparian land yao. Sasa ndio tunasema riparian land, watu kwa community yetu watu wana occupy, wanapanda chakula, wanapanda miti, na ukiangalia hizo miti ni memorial, lakini bado ukienda hapo mbele itakuwa ni resources kwa community yetu. Julisha watu wana haki ya kuona kidhulumiwa watoe sauti, waweze kusikizwa.
there is always an announcement of evictions going on somewhere. There is no specific statistics on how many people have been evicted from this community of Mathare, because evictions come in many ways. So we joined ourselves in defense of the urban poor people who had their homes demolished. Our prayers being that we get a structural interdict, that the government be compelled to give a solution, and got orders to say that the evictions that had been done were unlawful as a human right violation. The judgment was that the government, together with the petitioners who had gone to court, need to sit down latest by April of 2025, need to have sat down and figured out how to compensate the people who were demolished or find a resettlement plan. But of course, that was not done because this government has a way of ignoring court orders. On line of evictions and the question of housing, it's mostly public interest litigation, and of course doing community people assemblies to open up the discussion with people, because we don't make the attempt of being an organization that is divorced from the lived realities of its people. Our model is to use law as a tool to advocate for social justice and human rights.
In Mathare, there is many injustices about sewer line, about waste management, about housing, about water, about even the river itself has lost its ecosystem. In our river, we used to have fishes. Our river used to be clean. People used to wash their clothes, and now it doesn't happen. Our sewer lines are being channeled to the river. The water of the sewer is very intoxicated. It's very black. When it goes to the river, it kills the ecosystem of the river. Since the river became contaminated, we're experiencing diseases like cholera, children having hard time to breathe. Since we came with ecological justice, we unite the youths living alongside the river. We have created Mathare Network.
Of course, there's a connection between the evictions and the environmental crisis. To resolve the question of an informal settlement is to resolve a question of social justice, is to make primary the dignity of people.